Okay, I feel so stupid when I say that.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about worry and worrying about the future in particular because I'm very much so restless when it comes to moving forward. I get really bad anxiety when I feel like I've been stagnant for too long, which often leads me to be preoccupied with the future. I've slowly started to realize I'm in one of those points right now, thanks to all of my lovely family and friends telling me that I'm rushing and stressing myself out and blah blah blah. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong. I just didn't want to admit it. But this is just one of those moments where I kind of have to take my own advice and not stress so early. It's a waste of time and energy, and it starts to cripple me and incapacitate me. Now I'm feeling like, oh, I can't do anything and I'm incapable and all that other stuff you tell yourself when you're worried about the future. But in a sense, you shouldn't worry about a future that hasn't come yet or may never even come. We worry about a lot of things that don't even happen. Everything turns out fine, and the things that we didn't worry about are the things that go wrong. Ha! It's a good prank played by the universe. So I'm going to talk about 4 things you and I and we can all do to stop worrying so much about the future. First thing is to make peace with your past and present situation. Accept it for what it is. Don't blow it out of proportion. Put it into perspective. I think I tend to get preoccupied with the future and like looking forward to happier times when I don't want to look back to happier times, or I don't want to look I don't want to look at the now at like something that's unsatisfactory. And it's like working towards something better than the happier times that I had in the past, or the unsatisfactory time that I'm having right now somehow mitigates the anxiety in my head. But it's really important to accept the negativity in life. And it's not saying wallow in them or let them overcome you, but it's saying it's okay to say, hey, this sucks. Hey, I feel like crying right now. Hey, I might cry right now. And that's okay. Like right now, it's the first time in probably 21 years, 22 almost, because I'm almost 22, that I've been doing nothing. No school. I came back from Europe, like after the high of Europe, and I didn't have a job for a month. My grandfather passed away unexpectedly. I lost a really close friendship to me, and all of those things just hit me all at once, and I was not prepared to deal with them. And I had to take a step back and say, hey, you know what? This all sucks, and I'm gonna let it suck, because not everything is in my control and not everything is in your control, and the more you try to fight things, I think the harder it becomes to let them go. And I'm not gonna lie, I think it's really hard to stay grounded in a present moment that you're unhappy with or that you're not fully satisfied with, because you're always thinking, how can I make my situation better? We're all human, I understand that, but the first part of that is kind of grounding yourself in everything that's happening and accepting everything that it is in proportion. Don't blow it out of proportion. That's another thing people tend to do. But just like accept it. Make peace with everything that's happening, and I think you'll be a lot less likely to focus so much on the future. The second thing is to make happiness your daily goal, not your end goal. I feel like when we think of being happy in the future, we think of all these big, huge goals that might change our lives. English, I can do it sometimes. But we think of all of these huge, massive goals when we forget the little things that are around us that can make us happy right now. Things that we don't have to wait for or work towards. Like, you know what? Sure, I have big goals and dreams that I want to achieve, but I also have a very loving dog who, when I get home, his tail's wagging and he's so happy to see me, and that makes me happy. I have my family, I have my friends, I have a lot that makes me happy in my everyday life. So take time to appreciate the small joys, the small wins, the baby steps moving forward into the right direction. Ask yourself what makes you happy on a daily basis and do those things. Be around those things. If learning an instrument makes you happy, try to do that every day. If talking to your friends make you happy, try to do that every day or whenever you can. Make a to-do list of things that just make you happy. If you can't really pinpoint the things that make you happy, ask yourself what you're grateful for. I know in the face of loss, it's hard to realize how much you have, but it really helps when you realize that you have too much to be grateful for to feel incapacitated by one thing that seems like the end of the world right now. So even if it's the little things that you're grateful for, even if it's like the really good meal you had last night, the really good conversation you had with your sister, like, value it, remember it, tell yourself, like, actually tell yourself, I am grateful for this. This was a good thing. I have good things. And like, the more you do that, the more you'll see the things in your day-to-day life that give you joy right now, not in the future. My next tip is to stop focusing on all you're doing and to start focusing a little more on all you're being. Even if you're not doing much by your standards on a day-to-day basis, if you're investing in yourself and your own development, that is investing in your future. Every once in a while, I think it's good to shift the focus to yourself and how you're improving as a person and how you're being a better person, because whether you can see that right away or not, I think that helps you attain the goals that you want in the future. My fourth and final tip is to not be so tied to one specific outcome or one specific method of getting to that outcome, because I think honestly this is where all the worrying about the future comes in. For me, I've kind of always been a dreamer. I have these larger than life goals that sometimes honestly cripple me from even making baby steps in the right direction because fear that I won't be good enough to carry out the goals that I have for myself. It's really good to be goal oriented, but I think sometimes we get too tied to our goals that we forget that a lot of things in our life come serendipitously. I can't say that word. Serendipitously. I think that's how you say it. We forget that a lot of things come by chance, by luck, by just letting things happen. If you look back at your life and say the things that you actually plan to do, it'll be a lot less than you probably think. Like, we have our goals, we have our things that we work towards, but a lot of life just unfolds. And I think it's really important to just let things flow naturally sometimes. Like, by all means, work hard to get the outcome that you desire, but understand that not everything is in your control. I think to some extent it's very important to be open to other outcomes, other paths, other routes your life may take. And I guess those are my 4 tips. Yeah. I think ultimately we kind of set ourselves up for failure sometimes when we focus too much on the future. Just enjoy life for what it is, not what you would have liked it to be or not what you want it to be. Things tend to fall in place, especially if you're working towards them. So you shouldn't stress yourself out and make your present unenjoyable. Wow, I can English today. Anyway, I think things tend to work themselves out, even if it's not in the original way you planned. So I think it's just really important that we chase our big dreams, chase our big goals and achievements, but we also don't forget the little things, the little baby steps, the little things that make us happy, the things we're grateful for, the things that are right now. Because all we have is right now. That's the only thing that is guaranteed, is this present moment. Don't hold out for happiness. Happiness is not something that you should be working towards in the future or for your future. It's something that you should be cultivating right now. Because I can probably, if I really wanted to, I can name 100 things that make me happy, and I'm sure you could too. But how often do we really think of those things? Not very often. So I don't know where I'm going with this. So don't lose sight of those small joys waiting for that big happiness one day. And I think that's all I want to say. So yeah. I hope you're having a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I will see you next time. Oh. Also, I forgot this in my last video, I think, but remember to explore, grow, and be kind. Still stand by that, no matter how long time passes. All right, bye guys.